In this video, I'm going to show young men how to go from broke to rich. You don't need a bunch of money. You don't need to be a super genius. This is simple stuff. And if you don't know me, my name is Benny D. I first made over $500,000 in crypto. Then I now run a business that does over $1 million in profit every single year, helping coaches and content creators make $10,000 a month online. So how can I help you guys? I've made over 6 figures at least 3 different times in my life. And those 3 times that I made over 6 figures in a very short period of time, it all ended up going back to zero. So if you're somebody who has a chip on their shoulder, who has the mentality and the ambition to go run a bag up, to go make a bunch of money, that's amazing. You're very similar to me. You're in a great position. I'm not in the top 1% of earners in the entire world. Very grateful for the life that I have. But the problem was, even though I had the ambition to go and run up that bag, right? Turn $8,000 into 500 grand, turn my last $2,000 into a business that generates $1 million in profit, turn $20,000 into $200,000. I've done big numbers on numerous occasions. Each time that I did it with the chip on my shoulder, my self-worth wasn't there. And so I would make all of this money and I wouldn't sell, or I wouldn't do anything good with it. I would actually end up spending it on stupid stuff because in my mentality, I didn't feel like a millionaire. I didn't feel like a multimillionaire. I didn't feel like a top 1% earner. And so instead I felt like the person that was chasing. I felt like the person that was trying to attain wealth. And since I was always chasing, I could never be there, and all of my money would consistently drop back to zero. Now, I've cracked the code, and I want to share with you guys exactly how to not only make the money, but actually keep the money. Jim Rohn says this best. If you find $1 million, if you make $1 million, you better become a millionaire fast, so you get to keep the money, right? A lot of people, a lot of you watching are going to go and make a lot of money. But the goal is not to make the money, the goal is to keep the money and then have the money work for you. So the first thing you need to do is you need to start asking yourself, do you feel like a multimillionaire? What would a multimillionaire do right now? You need to identify with the traits of a multimillionaire, because if you identify with the traits of somebody chasing $1 million, then you're always going to feel and tell yourself that you don't have it. But if you identify with a millionaire and you wake up in the morning and go, what would a millionaire do? Oh, he would prioritize his health. I'm going to brush my teeth. What would a millionaire eat? Oh, he would prioritize his health. I'm not going to eat any meat. I'm going to go vegan, right? I'm going to cut out dairy. I'm going to go for a juice fast. What would a millionaire do for his health? Oh, he'd work out. You need to start doing and embodying yourself as the multimillionaire that you want to be, okay? That is one of the most important things that completely changed my life. And when you're in that energy, what's going to happen? Step number 2, you're literally going to get around multimillionaires. So my best friend, Ted Carr, I won't tell you how much money he has, but he's super buku rich, right? Millions on millions on millions on millions on millions. He's my best friend. How did I end up with him? Energy. My frequency shifted, and I decided that I was going to act like a millionaire, walk like a millionaire, talk like a millionaire, watch videos that millionaires would watch, read books that millionaires would read, ask ChatGPT what millionaires would do. And what happens? Other millionaires accrue. Other millionaires come to me and we turn into a crew. Okay, so number 1 is you need to identify with a millionaire and do what a millionaire does, walk like an Egyptian. Number 2 is you need to get around other millionaires, because you will always become the sum of the 3 people you hang around. And if the 3 people you hang around are millionaires or billionaires, you're going to be the 4th. Okay, the 3rd step, how do you break through your limiting beliefs? If you are hungry enough, if you have a chip on your shoulder enough to want to be great, you probably have some trauma. They say that the most successful people have the perfect mixture of trauma that allows them to catapult to the top, because they're just insane enough to want to go succeed and prove people wrong. That's great, and it's going to get you where you want to be, but it's not going to keep you there. You need to deal with that sooner or later. One of the best ways to do this is fasting. If you've never heard of fasting, I recommend watching videos on it. Go for a 24-hour water fast where you just drink water. Go for a 3-day juice fast where you just drink juice. What happens when we eat a bunch of food is our gut, which is our second brain, it confuses and it gives our brain fog, so we can't properly understand where we're at and dive through all of our emotions and all the things that we've been through. We're just kind of in a fog. We're not at our ultimate consciousness. And so the trick of abstaining from food is it takes away all that fogginess and allows you to dive deeper into the thoughts and move through some of the pain and the trauma that you've been through and move it through your body so that you can then be clean and pure and happy and welcome the things to come. The last thing you want to do is make $1 million. Trust me, the last thing you want to do is make $1 million and still have daddy issues and still not be able to keep a girl because you can't communicate, because somebody did you wrong 10 years ago and you never let it go. The last thing you want to do is make $1 million and then spend it on drugs because you're still running from pain, okay? So we need to make sure that we're healing this now. Heal this now. If you're watching this video, you're going to become rich. I've become rich and I've lost it 3 times. I'm not gonna lose it this time, but I want you to avoid losing your wealth 3 times. I don't want you to ever lose it, but to do it, you need to do these 3 things, okay? Watch this video twice if you need to. Peace.